Okay people, so I was absolutely certain on how I was going to approach this review until I ran into this comment on one of my popularity polls that I do every single week over on the community tab. If you want to check it out, feel free to do so. That's where we vote on who had the best chapter of the week between, you know, My Hero, Black Clover, One Piece, all of that, yada yada yada. But I read a comment on there that had me like, damn, hold the phone, wait a second, maybe I need to look at this a little bit differently, or at the very least be a little more open-minded, because overall I'm still just genuinely like, damn, this is some wild shit. I'm really rocking with this chapter. Very, very heavy of My Hero Academia 320. But let's read the comment that kind of had my mind a little bit just slightly altered. I was like, wait a minute, hold up. They said, I don't know how anyone can pick My Hero Academia. It was 5 or more chapters of build-up with good character development, all for him to go back to his class. And when I read this comment, I was like, hold the phone, wait a minute, is that true? Like, yo, hold up, like, is it true that, yo, we just had all this character development and now he's getting dragged back to class? Now the jury is still out whether or not he's going to conform and say, yo, bet, let's go back to school, fam, or what. But I will say that I hope that his character development, at the very least, that he's gotten, because it's been great, it's been very well done the last however many chapters, I hope it sticks around. I hope that is a part of Deku now, that he's not just sniveling like, All Might, can I wash your underwear? Like, no more washing All Might's underwear, goddammit, we're past that shit. But definitely let me know what you guys think about that whole comment right there, because it kind of just had me a little bit, you know, like, maybe there's something to that. But fam, we gotta talk about everything else, because this chapter in particular, I loved it. It was entirely class 1A on a positive vibe, but still nevertheless on a mission to change Deku's mind and bring him back to UA. It was nostalgic in a way, reminding us of all the great moments that Deku has had with each one of them, and also just a very impactful way of utilizing the entirety of class 1A, man. You gotta give it a Horikoshi. I said it last week and I'll say it again. He's been through and through from the very beginning of My Hero Academia that he's going to focus in on all of them, give all of them a moment regardless, and he did it just like that in this chapter. Now granted, there was some characters I was like, I don't care about you, move. Like, where's Todoroki? Come on, Bakugou, shit, Momo, I want to see you. We're gonna talk about that, but yeah, let's do it. Deku versus class 1A. It happened.
No matter how you move, get it done. No matter how you move, get it done. No matter how you move, get it done. No matter how you move, get it done.
Okay, so the chapter started off with a cover page of Tsuyu, and I was like, wait a minute, Frog Girl's on the cover page? What's going on here? And it was a really awesome way it was done, because it had the colored cover page of with looking like, you know, a comic book and shit like that, and then it tied into the very last page, because in my opinion, Tsuyu had like the best like part of all of it. Like, it was the cherry on top for me that kind of got me a little emotional with what she said to Deku at the end of the chapter. But really awesome colored page. And the way the chapter opened up with, you see Ida and you see the rain, and it's just kind of like a very dark atmosphere. Like, how did we get here, fam? We went from colorful rainbows, colors everywhere, to like rain, go away, okay? Because Deku needs to come out and stop being a bitch. He actually has not been a bitch, okay? He's actually been a very beastly guy the last few chapters, damn it. But Bakugou basically steps to him and it's like, oh, we heard that you unlocked the 4th and the 6th quirk. Like, they know everything now. Now they know all about One for All. There's no more secrets. All the secrets are gone at this point. But fam, when Bakugou broke the 4th wall, because the 4th wall was broken a couple of different times throughout this chapter, and in case you don't know what the 4th wall means, it's basically like kind of showcasing that this is a story, talking as if they are aware that they're in a story, because he even says, you're even drawn differently than us these days. And I'm like, god damn. I mean, I guess you could take it as metaphoric, like he was talking metaphorically, like you even look different than us, you're drawn, you know, you're done different these days. But fam, that was Bakugou breaking the 4th wall, because Deku is drawn very differently from class 1A. He's very exaggerated, he's very messy looking, but in a very interesting and detailed way. And you know, all the characters for the most part throughout the story have just been very refined, and like, hey, this is their design. Like, now Deku is just all over the place. Again, it looks really cool, but when Bakugou said that, I was like, woo, 4th wall done down, you know what I'm saying? They demolished that bitch. And so it began that Deku basically tries to bounce out of there. He's like, I understand y'all all came for me, thanks, but boom, boom, tries to use smoke screen to get away. Like he was like a Pokemon in this chapter, okay? Deku was like, I don't even know, a Pokemon with multiple different attacks. Like he was like a Ditto or some shit. I don't even know. Like he was just able to morph into different things constantly because he's like, boom, here's a smoke screen, let me get away. And they still trying to capture him. Like, no, throw the Pokeball at this motherfucker. And Bakugou continues to talk some trash, like, oh, because you're all powerful and mighty now, like we're all just a bunch of NPCs to you. And if you think about it, again, it sounds funny, like he's breaking the fourth wall again, talking like, yo, we're all NPCs, basically, like, you know, we ain't shit to you because your character development is so great now. Whoa. In reality, people go through shit like that on a lonely quest, and you feel like, you know, you're alone, only you can do it, you're gonna bring harm to the people around you, so you'd rather just stay away. You treat people like that sometimes, like it happens. And with Bakugou telling him things like that, they're all throughout this chapter trying to get through to him. They know that physically they can't, because even though they tried, like we'll talk about it throughout the chapter, how he was just busting through everything they threw at him. Mentally was the only way that they could really get Deku down, because let's just say even if they hypothetically were able to physically restrain him and drag his ass back to UA, what's to stop him from leaving again? What's gonna actually get him to say, oh, you know, you're right, bet, like, yo, UA, yeah, I'm here. Like, you gotta mentally get him to say, okay, shit, you know, you gotta break him essentially. And here's where some of the characters that, I'll just be real, like, maybe it's just me, and I know a lot of My Hero Academia fans are like, yeah, no, I know that character all the way, he's my favorite. Koda, it's like, yo, nah, you don't need to do none of this, fam. The principal said you could actually come back, he's ready to welcome you in. And I'm like, okay. It's a strange feeling for me, because on one hand, I'm like, Horikoshi, good shit, you're utilizing characters that, yeah, part of 1A, like, this has been your goal, and you stuck through it through and through. And he utilized a lot of the characters that are just not that known, because he used all of Class 1A, basically, or majority of them. I think there was a few that weren't used, but majority of them. But when I see him, I'm just kind of like, oh, okay, because at the same time, I don't have that attachment with them. Like, there's a lot of characters from 1A that I am attached to. Again, the Bakugous, the Todorokis, the Momos, the Jiro even. Like, I fuck with Jiro. Like, there's a lot of characters, but there are some characters in 1A that I just like, okay, Koda, can you move now? Like, get the next bum over here. No, let me not call him bum, but yeah, get the next bum over here. And speaking of bum, Sero comes in now. Because then following Koda, Sero comes and he's like complimenting the Black Whip. And again, we're getting all these flashback moments of how Deku impacted each and every one of them. Similar to, like, you know, a hero's journey, the shonen journey of like, yo, you impacted this person this way. Remember this that we did? So Sero's like, oh shit, you know, you get in the flashback there as well. And then Jiro shows up trying to stop him. And she's like, yo, you don't remember in the festival how you really helped me out? I really appreciated that. Again, using the mental. Like, they came in with a strategy, and that's one of the things I like about it too. Like, they all had a real big strategy of like, yo, we gotta get through to him mentally, we gotta get nostalgia in this bitch, we gotta show him like we appreciate him, we gotta show him how much his worth is with us instead of just being by himself. But fam, when Ojiro showed up, you know, the dude with the tail and shit, and he's like, yo, remember how you got pissed off? You were the first one to get pissed off when Shinzo did that to me at the sports festival. I'm like, damn, has it been that long since you've been relevant and done anything, fam? Like, I don't know about to say Zero, Ojiro, and Koda, maybe, I don't know, Invisible Girl, at least she's the invisible bitch and shit, but like, yo, those are the three main ones that I'm like, okay, I get it. Horikoshi also wanted to give them spotlight right now, of like, hey, they've always been there, remember them? But I was just kind of like, they could have been left out the picture, like, because there's a few other members of Class 1A that weren't present right here to do anything, and I'm like, yeah, maybe their abilities aren't the greatest, but they've had way more moments next to Deku. Like Mineta, he would have been a great choice to have in there. Again, he's not the most combat-wise, but like, yo, Mineta can relate to him, and they've been through a lot of shit together. Ida really didn't do shit throughout this one as well. He didn't talk too much or anything like that. There's a few other characters I would have preferred to have those moments of like trying to stop Deku and shit, because they had that bond and they've had more screen time. So it's like, it would make more sense having those three. I'm like, they're here. Horikoshi, do your thing with 1A. Yeah. You even got Tokoyami up in there attacking. You got Sato as well, and Sato even brings up Eddie, which they really were tugging at the heartstrings. They were grasping at straws for anything and everything to bring up Eddie. Like, oh, if you don't come back, I'm not gonna allow you this and that. I'm like, fam, you really had to go there, huh? You pulled a cheat card trying to bring up the little girl that, you know, it's like, oh, the adorable little girl. Like, damn. But Deku is determined, and he's really hard-headed at this point, because he's like, Eddie doesn't need me. It don't gotta be me. And then Momo shows up and straps him to a chair and shit, looking like the chair that fucking All For One was strapped to, like that stretcher shit, and she was trying to put him to sleep with that machine. And I'm just like, okay, Momo. Hey, go put him to sleep, rocking the bed. Ah, no. But I guess the principal gave them the okay to use their quirks to, you know, assist Deku in this mission. Like, their whole thing is not even like, yo, just come home, like, forget the journey. They're like, hey, we want to help you. Like, that's the thing about them, is that they're not trying to stop Deku and say, yo, you can't do this, fam, you too weak. They're like, no, you can do this, but you ain't gonna be able to do it entirely without us, and we want to help you. We care about you. We rock with you. So that was one of the things that you got to kind of keep in mind about this, is that, and you know, going back to that comment that I talked about in the beginning of the video, it wasn't even necessarily like they want to drag him back to UA to just sit up in a classroom and talk about class 1B all day and shit. Like, they actually want to go with him to assist him so that he's not alone. And Deku continues throughout the chapter, stop, get away from me. And then Kaminari came in. I ain't gonna lie, Kaminari, when he said not a chance because you've got something more important in your life. And then Vin Diesel came in, family. They literally said about shoving friendship down the throat. Like, yeah, you were shoving friendship down the throat really bad. If you looked at it from a different perspective, if Deku was dead serious about this and he didn't really care at all, I would be like, god damn, like, yo, get away from him. At this point, it's like you're forcing the talk no jutsu down his throat. Literally, like, that could be an argument there. You could look at it from a different perspective. Like, poor Deku, man. He doesn't want to be friends with them no more. They won't leave him alone. Like, damn. And a few more people again. Shoji, Tokoyami, using Ragnarok, wrapping him up again. They just trying everything. They throwing everything, like I've been saying throughout this video. They just keep trying and trying and trying, and throughout the chapter, Deku just keeps on, stop, get away from me, leave me alone. And at the very least, Deku did acknowledge and recognize, like, yeah, I get it. They just genuinely are concerned about me. They're worried about me. They care about me from the bottom of their hearts. I totally get it, but leave me the fuck alone. Like, holy shit, leave me alone. And also, it's good to note that it gave a little bit of exposition into more of the sensing ability that he has, of being able to sense danger and shit. The fact that he's like, yeah, my ability, my quirk ain't going off because there's no malice, there's no ill intent from them. So it's not like anybody, like, for example, it would have probably went off a million times of the old Bakugou of like, oh, you little dumb nerd bitch and shit. But because there's no malice, it's not going off. So it's able to really differentiate if somebody is going to attack him on a harmful way or a helpful way. They're attacking him like, we love you, get over here. It brought back the impactful nature to me when he gets hit with the ice wall and Shoto shows up and he's like, damn, you so tough, you can't cry, huh? That's a burden you should share with us, because it takes you back to when he helped out Shoto, and Shoto was on that vibe of like, I don't got emotions, fuck everything and shit, and he helped Shoto to realize and open up a bit and change as a character. So again, just bringing everybody and how Deku changed him. It's just that some characters legitimately you can say, nah, he really did help, he really did change. Some of them is like, yo, you gave me a good grade on my homework, fam, you helped me out on that one pop quiz. I don't know if you can help out somebody with a pop quiz, but you get what I'm saying. Like, there was impact, and you really felt it when he helped Shoto back in the days with his father and his domestic situations and stuff like that. But for me personally, out of all of them, the one that really touched me, and I don't know why, because it's not like they had the strongest bond in the world, but when Frog Girl, when Tsuyu showed up at the end of the chapter and she's like, yo, we cried together, we shivered together, we feared together. Like, if you dead set on being a comic book hero, you ain't gonna be able to live that fantasy alone, not without one A by your side. And I was like, I don't know, something about Sue that really just kind of made me feel like, man, just accept your friends, fam. Just stop it already. I get it, you want to be on this lonely mission, I get it, you don't want to put them in peril, but just accept them. And who knows, next chapter Deku could look at them and say, damn, you know what, y'all right, fuck that shit, and then just start boom knocking all of them out like, y'all don't get it, I don't want to be friends right now, leave that shit, leave me alone. That would be ill, I ain't gonna lie, that would be mad ill if he pretends that he's gonna go along with them, and then at the end of the chapter he just knocks them out on some like Vegeta knocking out Goku before the fight against Majin Buu type of shit. Like, if he did that to them, that would be wild. And I mean, at the end of the day, he could use Black Whip, rope all of them up with some crazy shit. Like, it showed that strength wise he could take them out. It's just that they keep on using mental and emotional tactics, but everything they've thrown at him, trying to wrap him up, Momo trying to put him to sleep, all of this shit, he's gotten through it. And again, I just gotta stress that despite the fact, you know, joking around, like some of the characters, they aren't as impactful and shit, shout outs to Horikoshi. It is a very difficult task to manage that many characters, you know, cast of characters like Class 1A and utilize them in important moments, and he did it in this one. So big props to him on that. Overall chapter, it was again pushing friendship, trying to force it, but it did feel emotional, it did feel real, because Class 1A has moved as a unit through and through from chapter 1 to chapter 320. So it did make sense, it did feel good with certain characters like the Momo one, with Bakugou, like a lot of these characters, Sue, Todoroki, all of those characters, I was like, yeah, they really had an impact. They were impacted by Deku, and now they're trying to return the favor and showcase again, don't do this alone. You could even compare it to like Tokyo Ghoul when Kaneki was trying to go off on his own and shit like that, and everybody, like, it gave me that vibe as well, because My Hero has gotten that dark atmosphere wise. But I'm curious what you guys think. For starters, do you think next chapter Deku's gonna be like, oh, I bet, yo, you give me a little bit of that wop and I'll You think Deku's gonna go along with them and say, fine, I'll go with you, we're gonna, do this as a team? Or at the last second, he's gonna say, nah, screw it, I really want to do this alone, like, and that's the way he's going to feel like he's protecting them? How did you feel? Do you feel like Class 1A actually had a chance at stopping him physically, or it's legitimately that they have to keep on using the mental and, saying, hey, remember this, remember that, to try and slow him down and get him emotional enough to say, yeah, I'll change my mind, alright, let's do this? And your overall thoughts and expectations for the My Hero Academia manga with chapter 321 and beyond. This was an emotional one. It was friendship involved, but in an emotional light, and I think they handled it nicely, especially, again, utilizing a large cast of characters and giving them some spotlight. Good shit, Horikoshi. But that's all I have for this one. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you want more from me, make sure to subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram. Hit that bell to get all notifications. And if you want to follow any of my other social media, links are in the description below. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day. And remember the golden rule. Anime and manga. Life, boy. Have an awesome day. Peace in. And, yeah, Deku, you better accept that friendship, goddammit. They're gonna whip your ass until you love the friendship. Have an awesome one.
So just go to